I was a driver for Domino's and our store was closing for the night. I was helping out with the closing duties and had just taken out half of the daily trash to the dumpster. When I came back to grab the rest of the trash, I left the side door ajar so I wouldn't have to deal with the keypad with my hands full. Well, a robber decided that was his opportunity to come in and brandish a gun in our faces. The scariest and most vivid moment for me was staring at the ugly brown tile, thinking it would be the last thing I ever saw. I was given a week off, but when I got back, I was still a jumpy wreck for months. About 3 weeks after the robbery, I was at a customer's door when he quickly swung his door open and pointed a pistol in my face, almost touching my forehead. He held it there for about 10 hours. Well, it was actually 2 seconds. Before exclaiming, "It's just a joke. I thought you were my friends," and show me that it was just an airsoft pistol. I carried my pistol every single day after the robbery. This guy with the airsoft pistol was super lucky my hands were full of pizza. I once got chased like you see in the movies. A little information about me. I'm an 18-year-old male student. To make a little money, I part-time deliver pizzas at night and on the weekends. Note that I ride a moped to make deliveries, so my top speed is about 50 kilometers per hour. So here's my story. It's a warm summer night. Sun was almost set, so in some directions visibly was very poor. I knew the street I was on very well, and knew narrow roads lay ahead of me. What I didn't know about was a car coming at me from the opposite direction, at high speed with its headlights off. I simply didn't see them because of the sun blocking my eyesight. We almost had a top-speed frontal collision there, and with me being on a moped, I would have at least suffered from heavy injuries. I managed to dodge the car at the very last moment and didn't hesitate a second to throw the good old middle finger at them for not turning on their headlights in those conditions. I still remember the car, a bright blue Fiat Punto with black rims. So, a few days later, I spot the exact same car, waiting at a yield sign for me and some other vehicles to pass. I was on my way back to the pizza place and had to make a left in the same street they were on. Time for me to mess around for a bit. Extremely slowly, I passed the front end of their car. As I passed the driver's window, I noticed it was rolled down a little bit. I peeked inside and saw the biggest, most terrifying-looking gym rat wearing the douchiest sunglasses ever. Next to him, a beautiful blonde girl. So the guy immediately starts swearing and calling me out, and I was like, "Bitch, come at me." I heard myself say it and instantly regret doing so, because this was not a guy I wanted to get in a fight with. I'm a pretty tall guy, but this dude, hell no. So I got away from the car as fast as I could, but a few moments later, I shit you not, the Fiat appears in my mirror. The guy now chasing me. I was driving as fast as I could, but with him being in a car, he could easily top that. There was a roundabout coming up I knew I could take on easily while doing full throttle. The car, of course, could not. This slowed him down for a bit, but it only took the guy a matter of seconds to get at my back end. He was now tailgating me and I was scared as fuck. This wasn't enough for him, and he decided to drive next to me. Passenger window rolled down, shouting at me to stop so we could talk. Well, I was not going to do that. He was closing in on me, the girl looking at me the whole time, the car, and me almost touching sides. At this point, I saw the golden opportunity, a side street on my right. I yanked the brake off the rear tire and power slid myself into that street. It wasn't my intention to lock the rear wheel, but I can assure you that looked cool. But this wasn't the end, as the guy saw it coming and slammed the brakes too. Once again, he was right behind me. Suddenly, I saw a narrow alley on the left. I did a hard left, and the blue Fiat knew he wouldn't fit. I drove back to the pizza place as fast as I could. Sometimes, I still spot that bright blue Fiat, and I hide or quickly turn into another street to avoid it as much as I can. I used to work at a Pizza Hut in a pretty shitty area of Tucson. Think lots of trailer parks, crappy apartments, and shitty duplexes. Most people were on drugs and welfare, so tips were very rare. That evening, a man had ordered a large lover's pizza with extra sausage, and another driver took his delivery. Before the driver even came back, the man already called the store, complaining his pizza was so spicy that it was inedible, and he would like a new one. While it was likely impossible the pizza was actually spicy, and this dude probably just wanted free food, we obliged and handed the driver a new pizza when he returned to take back to the customer. Well, this did not appease him. Over the span of a couple hours, the man called 2 more times, insisting that the pizza was way too spicy. He couldn't eat it. We kept bringing him new pizzas, but this time we're taking back the old ones for quality checks when, really, we were just tossing them in a dumpster in hopes that this guy would give up his scam. Finally, it got to be about 11 p.m. with 1 hour left until closing, and the man had once again called back saying that he cannot eat his pizza. He needed a new one. At this point, we suspected that there's something seriously wrong with this guy, and no one wanted to go out there in the middle of the night to confront him. So the manager informed him that there was unfortunately no way that he would appease him, but if he came down to the store tomorrow, he would be happy to issue him a refund. We thought that was the end of it. I was not a closer that night, so I was cashing out the front register when a beater truck screeched into the parking lot and parked right at the front door. A rather disheveled and overweight man came in holding a pizza. He put the pizza on the counter and informed me he's here for his refund. I called the manager. While I was still up front calculating my cash for the night, the man opened the box and started talking to me.
Dude, this pizza is so fucking spicy. You gotta try this shit. It's unreal. Someone must have been putting chili in the sauce or some shit.
I just awkwardly let him know I believed him and moved out of the way so the manager could issue the refund. As this is going on, the man started getting more agitated. He pushed his pizza towards the manager, repeating,
Man, you gotta try this pizza. You gotta believe me, it's so spicy.
All the while jabbing his pointer finger into the pizza and mashing it up into a disgusting mess. My manager kept telling me it's fine, he believed him, but the man remained insistent and shoved the pizza towards my manager. Finally, the manager let him know, No, I do not want to eat that pizza, and now I need to ask you to leave. The man then took his pizza and walked out. During all this, the waitress, cook, and other 2 drivers had come up to the front to see what all the yelling about a spicy pizza was about. The other driver, who I had a bit of a crush on, was standing next to me. Once the man got into his truck and started to pull away, I turned to the driver and say, Hey Kevin, want to try my pizza? And everyone just burst out laughing. Our laughter was short-lived, though, as the truck screeched to a halt and zoomed back into the parking space. Tweaker Man stormed back into the store, seriously pissed off and out for blood. He began screaming at my fellow driver.
Do you think something is fucking funny? Am I funny? Are you fucking laughing at me? You think the pizza is bullshit fucking funny?
Everyone was dead silent as my driver sputtered along, trying to get a word in, but the man wouldn't have it. He climbed onto the counter and started screaming.
I'll teach you to laugh at me. Let's fucking go outside, right now. I'll fucking teach you.
For context, this man had to be about 40 to 50 years old. My now boyfriend was 22 and spinally thin. This was frightening as fuck. My manager managed to coerce the man off the counter and got him outside, immediately locking the door. The man screamed at the door for a few seconds before retreating to his truck and pulling away. So we thought that's the end of it. Until the truck began circling the building, with a fucking gun being pointed out of the driver's window. Everyone immediately hit the deck. The waitress started sobbing, and my manager blindly reached up, trying to grab the phone off the counter to call 911. Every once in a while, we peeked up, and this insane fucker was still circling. When he finally stopped, everyone crept to the back of the store and peeked out the window. Dude had parked next to the driver's cars, waiting for one of us to come out on a delivery. The dude stuck around for about 15 minutes before taking off. The cops, of course, didn't show up until like an hour later, because it's freaking Tucson and they suck. I had to sneak out before they came, in hopes I wasn't going to get shot. The next day, the man repeatedly called the store to scream at people, claiming we attacked him, threw crushed red peppers in his eyes. Since we had his address and phone number in the system, cops finally picked him up and we didn't hear from him again. He also got himself a nice place on the do not deliver list. This happened a few years ago in San Antonio. This happened a few years ago in San Antonio when I was a 24-year-old blonde woman saving pennies. I was stopped at a red light when someone lightly rear-ended me. They zoomed around me, ran the red light, and tried to drive off. It was made very clear to me that should an accident happen on the clock, we had to call and make a report immediately. If we didn't, it'd be our ass. So I went after the guy a bit, and they pulled into a parking lot just before the highway. It was 11 at night, and the parking lot we pulled into was not well lit. I stayed in my car, explained the situation to the operator, and was waiting. This woman got out of the driver's side, and the guy got out on the passenger side. They came up to my driver's side door and were talking to me. I popped open my door to talk to the people, but he just started asking me not to call the police. I said sorry, but I have to or I'll lose my job. And that's when he lost his shit. He tried to pull me out of my car to show me that there wasn't any damage to my car. I was still on the phone and went to close my door, and the girl started crying. So the guy ripped open my driver's side door and lunged at me. He tried to grab my phone, but of course I put up a fight. He got frustrated that I wouldn't hang up or give him my phone, so he punched me in the face. I got pissed off and kicked him in the balls. He hit me again, then managed to grab my phone. He threw it 30 feet across the parking lot, and I watched it bounce along the pavement. He got in the truck and took off. I got out of my car and went to get my phone, which was still working and the screen wasn't broken. So I called back and got the same operator. I reported the assault and she dispatched for cops and an ambulance despite my protest. It took 20 minutes of me sitting alone in a parking lot before the ambulance arrived, and I got pissed off that a cop hadn't come by yet. My lip was barely busted, so they could see why I objected, but offered to stay with me till a cop arrived. Another 15 minutes after that, a cruiser came up, so the ambulance left. The guy barely paid attention at all when he took my statement. When I tried to follow up on it, nothing. Could never get in touch with a cop after that, and all my co-workers were pissed. Hi there, thank you for watching. If you wish to see more videos like this, be sure to click on the playlist link down in the description. If you'd like to see more, be sure to subscribe and click the notification bell. If you'd like to get in contact with me and send me your own stories, there's a link to my Discord and email in the description. See you next time.